to our first ever coaching call.
Yeah,
This is exciting.
this is exciting. This is the launch of something new.
The launch of something new. We love those small beginnings that add into really big monumental cascades of transformation. So, what do you want to share today?
Well, I think today let's go through what this coaching is going to entail. I know a lot of times, we hear you guys laughing and crying, and we hear a lot of amazing, great stories
Mm.
out of what happens in your office.
Mm.
And one of the reasons we're doing this is because there's so many commonalities, and we want to give people the opportunity to continue with their accountability and just staying connected, both to you and as a community, when they're done with the program, or as they kind of flow into maintenance. And so let's start by, what's usually going on back here? What does coaching look like?
Mhm.
Kind of where do you see this evolving?
Mm-hmm. I feel that's multi-layered in a way. There are so many textures and flavors and colors that come with you taking control of your life and the change that you show up to, the discomfort. Okay, so there's a lot of layers of that because there can be a lot of discomfort, a lot of just technicalities, like you have technicalities as one layer, which is really just the infrastructure of the program itself. And then I think the second layer is you inside of that program or you inside of that treatment, and then allowing it to evolve past it just being a program and just allowing yourself to lean in and engage it in a way where, like I said, we're showing up to so many levels of discomfort, and we're on that threshold of understanding and recognizing what is for us on the other side of that. I think support is a really big deal. We all just have our really bad days, right? And sometimes the visor that we're looking through, it's not, it's not the most positive, and not that I want it to be. I want all the things, the bad, the good, the ugly, all the things that follow. And then there's the support system, I think, is another layer to that too. Understanding that you're not alone, that people have been where you have been, people have walked where you have walked, and because they have paved that pathway to where you have walked, you've got a system of support. You've got so many other, men and women who can say something in just the way that they can say it, that actually like is like, oh wow, like that just hit for me in such a different way, you know.
And accountability,
The
right? Support
accountability.
and accountability. When people, because inside kind of who is going to be accessing this is going to be kind of two groups of people. One is going to be people who are currently enrolled and
Mhm.
doing the program and actively in their kind of lose phase.
Mhm.
And then we've got, a second group of people who have kind of been through it. Are locked in and they're on maintenance, or they're getting ready for that. When people are first starting, how many are surprised by the level of coaching or accountability that we're trying to provide versus
Mm.
actually that's what they're coming for?
That's a really good question. I would say that if you have met me from our very first encounter, you have an idea of what you're getting into. I think we realize right off the cuff that this is clearly not about the weight. That this is clearly about something so much bigger and so so much more spiritual than any of us even had anticipated on the onset of that. So I think we have an idea of that. Like it's like we're just going we're going straight into the center of that, and we're not going to waste any time, and we're just going to speak to all the things that need to be spoken to and let everything else bubble and boil up, right? I think some people are, yes, certainly surprised by, wow, I really just thought like I could come in here, and lose a few pounds and, look better. But it really is
Just
an
tell me what
inside
to do.
job. Just tell me what to do. And you think that's what, and believe me, there's a time and place for that,
Mhm.
because sometimes you just need to tell me what to do. Just tell me
Mhm.
what to do. Like I have had so much incoming and I am so overwhelmed by everything everybody else is telling me what to do. So how do I know what to do anymore? We also get a little bit more dialed in biochemically, individually speaking, also, so it's not like a guessing game or what's going to work, what's not going to work, all that thing, all that. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but that's, yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people are, by the time they meet you, okay, we're kind of focused on the coaching and what are some of the, because this is going to be what we start to really dive into in the next couple of weeks. What are, a couple of the top reoccurring themes that you see with people as they're going through the programming that we're going to be really
Mm.
starting to focus on with some of these coaching
Mhm.
sessions.
I can't wait to engage all of your thoughts, your questions, or what you find to be most challenging or even most uncomfortable. I'll start with what's like top of mind. Like the ones I've been engaging lately are like, is there no end to this? I hear that often. Is there no end to this? This doesn't feel sustainable, and I want to address that right away because I want it to feel sustainable. And
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, the stop start thing, I really try to veer away from there's a beginning and an end to this, because really it's a springboard to an entire life style change, actually. So it is really wrapping your, and it's really wrapping your mind around that, because some of the feedback that you get from even your body and even your own bloodstream and what it's telling you, that can really take some grieving. it,
Mhm.
it really can take some, oh my gosh, like not only was I brave enough to show up to what my body is trying to tell me, but now I need to, I need to do what I need to do to get myself, on board, and to get myself in congruency.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that's a big one right there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What else?
As far as, I think it is a lot of mindset shifting.
Mhm.
That's definitely, there is a lot of incoming all around. When you, I tell you, I think
Well,
when
and we say this
you,
a lot, right? It's simple but not easy.
it's simple, but it isn't easy.
So some of them are questions on, can I have this or this?
Right.
Which is better?
Right. Right.
Can is this approved? Or,
Hmm.
I had a couple margaritas over the weekend. What do I do now?
Exactly. I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of it is the how, but more of it is kind of mindset.
Mindset, because how do I ask that question and not attach shame or blame to it?
Mm.
How do I ask this question? Oh, I had a margarita over the weekend, and not dumb that down into good or bad, or the tyranny of the and or like that whole thing there. There's a whole dynamic there. But how do we do that? And not sit in the shame. I want to say you're going to attach shame. So for me to say not attach shame to it is really not the truth, or is it ideal? But
Mhm.
how do you put that crown on and sit with it for just a minute, enough to say, okay, so like, let me go into that. I feel shame for, and then really walking through, how do we want to transmute shame? Because shame all on its own is not a productive emotion, and it cauteroid it cauterizes, it paralyzes, it actually keeps you stuck and stopped from making any change or momentum in itself. That's what it's designed to do. Funny enough, if you go all the way full
Mm,
circle
mm,
on that one. So really being able to start again getting really comfortable having uncomfortable conversations around things like I just feel really I feel like a failure because I went and had a margarita, and then it just sucks the living joy out of life. And now here we are just doing the opposite of what we came in to do, which is to live a life fully lived, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
making sure that we're not just, sucking now the joy out of life, but how do I have both? How do I have both things? How do I know that I was born free, I will stay free, I will make choices, I will have intentional choices for joy, and I know how to balance this thing. That's what it's all about.
Mhm. Amazing. Um, so that's going to be that's going to be some of the things that we start to
Hmm.
talk about.
Hmm.
The more logistics of this is going to be as we, each week we're going to have a common theme that we're going to break
Sure.
down and start to work through.
Yes.
Um, and that's going to be, 15 to 20 minutes probably,
Mhm.
maybe a little longer depending on what rabbit holes we start to go down. And then the other part of this is we also want to really open this up for
Yes,
questions,
yes,
because we recognize that there's a lot of times, as we've been talking to people, there's questions for either Angela or myself that uh, maybe it is is it okay if I have this, or what should I
right,
do about that?
right.
Those questions are welcome. Maybe it's a mindset question. Maybe it's a, how do I approach this?
Or
Or,
slow stalling out. Everybody plateaus. What do we do when we get there?
yeah, I'm feeling stuck.
Mhm.
And so if you haven't messaged, if you're in that stage and you haven't messaged Angela through Body Sight, then this is a great place to bring those questions to. Um, and so we want to have some coaching, but also some engagement and some question and answers.
Mhm.
Uh, and then honestly, all of this is really, um, you know, driving towards the new membership options that we have.
Right.
Maybe you want to talk through a little bit about why we're kind of looking at those
Mm,
and what we're hoping that
absolutely.
those can bring to,
Yes.
people's experience. Because our one of our driving forces is really the experience people are having in the office, and so we've had discussions about bringing these memberships to life for
Yes.
at least a year. And so here they are. We're really excited about them.
Yes.
So maybe you can start to
Sure.
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. The importance, I think, even people walking in, it's always a little voice like in the back of their mind saying, okay, now that I have all of this support and I have this newfound community, um, what's next for me, right? There's a lot of people who, they value the change that they have been able to create, and
I know
they
what the next 6 or 8 weeks looks like,
right,
but
but what
then
about the
I'm a
next month
little
and the next
scared
month
of,
from there? And
yeah,
what happens 6 months from now when we go into feasting mode because, all the things start to hit from Halloween on? What about then? What does that look like for me during, my Christmas season? And what does that look like? And so we've developed these membership plans to give you everything that you need to stay focused in your practice of what you've learned.
mhm.
So
And we've got two versions of that because people are also need different
they
things.
do.
Some people need they really enjoy the lights and they want more of the accountability through some of the scans and things like
Mhm.
that. Other people, these coaching calls and access to be able to ask questions through Body Sight continues to be,
Mhm.
really important to them. So Maybe we want to break down each of those
Sure.
and some of the details on this
Hmm.
before we start to wrap up
Yeah,
the
we
first call.
yeah, so we have two offers. One is our basic membership, and then the other is our premium membership. And for basic membership, just keeping in mind that some people are just, they're all over the globe, and they're all over the United States, they're all over the globe. But being able to just to dial in like today and have access to a weekly group coaching session means everything.
Mhm.
It is my heart for us to also uplift and support each other and send each other all the good vibes and energy every time we do meet on here. I can't wait to see people talking to each other and sharing some of their experiencing and cheering one another on. I think that's going to be really important, but it gives us access to Body Site. We've got our exclusive Facebook group access. And like I said, this weekly coaching call, and then an access to what we're really also really excited about is member only events. I am really just looking forward to that too. So that's our basic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then our premium is everything with the basics. So you've got access to Body Site, you've got our online community through our Facebook group, you've got the weekly coaching calls that is what we're doing now, and then you'll have the first invitations to our member only events. So those will eventually look like some retreats and dinners and just get-togethers, whether it's around like a yoga or a workout or just getting together and having dinners. And then our premium membership is those four things. Um, and then we have an amazing new 3D body scanner in the office. If you have not had a chance to check that out, please reach out to Angela or one of the girls at the office, and we want to get you in here and get you a scan. But it has certainly up leveled our way of taking measurements and being able to track people's progress. And so you'll get a monthly 3D body scan, so you can keep track of your goals and where you're at and where you would like to go, and it'll also allow Angela to make some recommendations on if we need to target certain areas, what we can start to begin to do with that. And then the biggest perk for the premium membership is you get 4 red light sessions per month. And so people love doing the red lights. This is a great way to keep the skin tightening as you're continuing to do all the other um, health initiatives that you're up to. It's fantastic in the wintertime for mood. That's what I use it a ton for. Pain and inflammation, you can jump on for that. It's all the benefits, right? And so you're getting 4 of those, which that alone is an $800 value. And so our basic membership is $99 a month, and our premium membership, which includes the body scan and the 4 red lights, is $379 a month. So these are amazing deals for the value that they're getting. But we also recognize that this is an amazing deal,
Right.
and so we're really focused the next couple of weeks on launching this. And so really, it's people who are currently enrolled in the program that will have access to this pricing, and people who have already done the program that will have access to this pricing. But after that, July 1st, like, these prices are going to go up because the number of red lights that people are getting, and is just the value is certainly there for that to be worth more than that. So the prices are going up July 1st for that. A couple of questions that we've already gotten on it are the red lights. Will they roll over? Unfortunately, you'll get 4 a month, but they will not roll over to the next month. So it's use it or lose it. If you want to use them all up in 1 week, you can do that. If you want to break it up into 1 a week, you can do that. So you just get 4 a month, and try to schedule that accordingly. There's no monthly minimum requirement. There is a 30-day cancellation notice. But outside of that, there's not a 3, 6, 9, 12-month commitment to it. We plan to bring a ton of value to these coaching sessions, the Facebook groups, the events that we're starting to coordinate. We want this to be a really big no-brainer for people. And so that's kind of the details. It's, pretty straightforward and simple. Anything that I've missed so far?
You are doing a great job.
So if you're hearing this before July 1st, 2024, then give the office a call or reach out to Angela through Body Sight, and we can talk more about these membership options. Otherwise, next week we will be talking about what? What's our first?
I need some feedback for that. Yeah.
Okay, so give us
you
some
guys,
feedback.
please. I love feedback. I'd love to hear about some of the top topics, some of the thoughts, some of the things that ruminate in your mind as you're moving through your ever unfolding. You will always be in the unfolding of all of this, but your ever unfolding journey of life. So let us know what you really want to touch on. I love to talk, so yeah. I'm up for it.
Otherwise, I think kind of what we started discussing today, which is how do I incorporate this into a lifestyle change? And when is this over? When does this stop?
Right.
How do I make this something that's sustainable?
Yes.
And is not feeling like I'm depriving myself?
I love that. That's a great,
Forever.
actually, we should start with that because don't forget you said that, because that's an amazing conversation to have.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, thanks for listening today. We look forward to catching up with you next week during our next coaching call. Until then, have a great week.